Okay, let's unpack a scenario that I think every single person listening has nightmares about.
Oh, I think I know exactly where you're going with this.
Right, because you spend years learning a language. You've memorized the vocabulary lists. You drill those grammar tables over and over.
You know exactly how to conjugate the verb to be.
Exactly. You feel completely ready. And then you step off the plane, you walk up to a local, you open your mouth, and, well, you realize you sound like a textbook from 1995.
Or worse, you sound like a robot. A very polite, grammatically correct robot, sure, but a robot nonetheless.
Yeah, exactly. There's this massive, terrifying gap between classroom English and the English people actually speak on the street.
It's a huge disconnect.
And that's exactly what we are deep diving into today. We are looking at a really comprehensive conversation guide from Talks to Tata.
Right, hosted by Emma and Jack.
Yes, two language coaches. And their entire goal is to drag learners across that gap, taking you from A1, which is total beginner, to A2 and beyond.
Where you can actually function as a human being in society.
Exactly.
Yeah.
And what I really appreciate about the source material is that they don't just, hand you a list of slang to memorize.
No, they frame language learning as building a toolbox. I think that metaphor is just really important.
A toolbox.
Right, because we aren't just admiring words on a page, we're looking for specific tools like hammers, wrenches, screwdrivers that you actually use to build a social connection.
So that is our mission today. We're going to rummage through this toolbox. We want to find the secret keys hidden in everyday conversation.
The little things that make a big difference.
Right. We want to understand the actual logic behind why English speakers say they are sick of the weather when they aren't actually ill.
Or why the word up appears in completely random places.
It really is about decoding the intent. Because as Emma and Jack point out right at the top of their guide, language is a team activity.
I absolutely loved that concept. Team activity.
It changes the whole dynamic, doesn't it?
It really does. If you view language as a test, you are constantly terrified of failing. Every interaction is a potential bad grade.
But if it's a team sport,
Like tennis or playing catch, then it's just about keeping the ball in the air.
I say something, you catch it, you throw it back.
Exactly. It's a social dance, not a final exam.
So let's learn the steps to this dance. We have to start with the social dance of greetings, because the source makes a really interesting distinction here between time-based greetings and social greetings.
Right. The time-based ones are basically what you learn on day one of any language class.
Good morning, good afternoon, good evening.
Exactly. Now, these are fine. They are totally safe, but they do create distance.
They feel very formal. I mean, if I walked into a noisy pub to meet my friends and said, "Good evening, humans," I would sound like a vampire.
You really would. It establishes a very professional or respectful distance, which has its place.
Sure, at a bank, maybe.
Right. But the source emphasizes that if you want to sound approachable, you need to use the casual tier. Hi, hey, and my personal favorite that they really highlight, hi there.
Hi there. It's such a tiny addition, just adding the word there. Why does that change the vibe so much?
Well, it softens the directness. Just saying hi can sometimes be a little abrupt, almost like a bark, if you aren't careful with your tone.
Oh, I see.
Adding there implies, hey, I see you over there, I acknowledge your presence, and I am happy about it. It just feels breezy. It's a very low-stakes way to open a channel with someone.
That makes a lot of sense. But the real trap, and the source spends quite a bit of time on this, is the how are you matrix.
Yes, the how are you matrix, the absolute bane of every learner's existence.
Because we are all programmed to say, I am fine, thank you, and you.
Like clockwork.
But the source argues that in the real world, that answer is basically a conversation killer.
It really is. I am fine, thank you is a full stop. It essentially signals, I have answered your required query, now let us proceed to business.
This is incredibly robotic.
Exactly. The source suggests that if you want to sound native, you swap the question itself to, how's it going, or how are you doing?
How's it going? Definitely has more of a rhythm to it. It flows better.
It does, and look at the logic behind it. How are you asks about your static state of being, but how's it going asks about the movement of your life.
It's dynamic.
Highly dynamic. And the answers need to match that rhythm. The source points out that not bad is actually a very high-frequency, positive answer.
That is always so funny to me because not bad sounds mediocre. Like, It's okay, I guess.
That is the cultural nuance right there. Particularly in British or American English, we just love understatement.
We really do.
So not bad usually means everything is functioning correctly, and I am quite content.
And if you want to be enthusiastic,
Then you go with great or excellent. But I'm fine is just, it's just beige.
beige English. I like that. Okay,
Yeah.
so we've entered the room. We've said hi there. We've established we are not bad. Now we actually need something.
Yeah.
This brings us to the politeness strategy.
This is where the cultural friction really starts happening.
Because in many languages, it is perfectly polite to just say, I want coffee.
Direct translation, verb plus object, I want coffee.
The problem is, in English, I want coffee.
It sounds like a toddler screaming in a supermarket aisle for candy.
So you aren't just being direct, you are actively being perceived as rude.
Extremely rude. You are entirely centering your own desire. So the source identifies the absolute best friend you can have in English for this situation.
The phrase, can I have?
Yes. Can I have? It seems so simple.
It really does. Can I have a coffee? Can I have the bill?
Can I have a menu? It is linguistic magic. Think about what it actually does. It turns a command into a question.
Over.
You are theoretically giving the other person the power to say no, even though you both know they will say yes. It is a social fiction, but it completely softens the blow.
The source also contrasts this with I would like. Now, I was taught I would like is the polite form.
It is correct, and it is definitely polite, but the source makes a great distinction here. I would like is the tuxedo of requests.
The tuxedo. I really like that analogy.
It works perfectly. If you are at a Michelin star restaurant ordering the vintage wine, I would like the Cabernet is perfect.
But if you are at a noisy pub,
Exactly. If you shout over the music, I would like a beer, you sound very stiff. You sound like you are practicing for an oral exam.
so can I have a beer is the jeans and t-shirt version.
Spot on. It just fits the context better.
Now, here is a scenario from the source that gave me secondhand anxiety just reading it.
Let's hear it.
You are in a conversation. Someone speaks to you, and you have absolutely no idea what they just said.
Oh, the total panic moment.
Do you just smile and nod?
The smile and nod is dangerous. You might have just agreed to help them move a piano this weekend.
Exactly. But just saying what is considered rude.
Very abrasive.
The source gives us a toolkit for softening this. Sorry, standard. Pardon is fine. But they highlight one phrase as the absolute winner.
I didn't catch that.
Yes, didn't catch that.
I love this phrase. Let's break down the imagery of it. It treats the words like a physical object, like a ball that was thrown at you.
And you just dropped it.
Exactly. I didn't catch that. Puts the responsibility on you, the listener. You aren't saying you are mumbling or your accent is too thick.
You were saying, my catcher's mitt malfunctioned.
Right. It saves space for the speaker. It is incredibly sophisticated social engineering for such a simple little idiom.
It really is. It keeps that team activity vibe alive.
Yeah.
You aren't blaming your teammate, you're taking the error on yourself.
Keeps the game moving.
Okay, let's open up the toolbox section of the source properly. This is where we get into the actual mechanics, the phrasal verbs.
The dreaded phrasal verbs.
Those tiny little words up, off, on that just seem to change the meaning of a verb completely at random.
They are the heavy lifters of the English language. You absolutely cannot avoid them.
Let's start with the ultimate chameleon word, up. The source talks about cleaning up versus just cleaning. Why do we need the up?
This is a really key insight for learners. Often in English, up is not about direction at all. It adds a sense of completeness.
Completeness, okay.
If I tell you I cleaned my room, maybe I just picked up a few socks off the floor. Maybe I wiped the mirror. But if I cleaned up my room, the job is done. It is fully finished.
So up acts like a finish line.
Precisely. Think of eat up or drink up. It means finish your plate, finish your glass. Do the action completely until nothing is left.
But then we have give up, which is also a finish line, I guess, but a much sadder one.
Right. Give is to offer something, but give up is to surrender. You are handing over your victory entirely. You stop trying. You are completely done, but in a negative way.
And then there's my favorite usage of up from the source, because it just sounds so energetic. Are you up for it?
This is such a crucial phrase for social life. Are you up for... It basically translates to, do you have the energy and the interest for this specific activity?
It definitely feels different than just asking, do you want to go?
Very different. Do you want to go hiking is a purely logical question about desire.
Right.
But are you up for hiking challenges, your stamina and your enthusiasm? It implies an adventure. If someone asks if you are up for it, they are inviting you to share a whole experience with them.
It's much more bonding. Okay, we absolutely have to talk about the word mind. The source spends a lot of time here, and for good reason. This word is a total logic trap.
It is a labyrinth for the uninitiated.
Okay, so would you mind closing the door? Now, if I want to be helpful, my brain screams, yes. Yes, I will help you.
And you have just told them, yes, it annoys me immensely if you want the door closed, so do not ask me to do it.
Which is a complete disaster.
We have to strip it all the way back. In this specific structure, mind means to be bothered or to be annoyed.
Okay.
So the question literally translates to, does it annoy you to close the door?
So the polite answer must be negative.
You have to say, no, I don't mind. Or you can use the phrase, the source recommends, which is completely foolproof. Not at all.
Not at all. So you have to use a negative word to agree to a positive action. That is some serious mental gymnastics.
It is entirely counterintuitive if you are translating directly from almost any other language. But once you get that mind equals annoyance, the whole structure just unlocks for you.
Let's look at off and track. The source uses some visuals here that I found really helpful. Taking off.
Off generally means away from a surface. So take off your shoes means remove them from the surface of your feet. The plane takes off means it leaves the surface of the earth.
That makes visual sense.
Yeah.
But what about taking care of? Because the source makes a very firm distinction between caring and taking care of.
This is highly nuanced. I care about you is an emotion. It is a feeling inside your heart.
Right.
But I will take care of your dog is an action. It implies agency and serious responsibility. If I take care of the project at work, I am the manager, I am handling the logistics.
So you can't just care for the dog, or the dog might starve while you sit on the couch feeling love for it. You have to take care of it.
Precisely. One is a passive feeling, one is active management.
And lost track of time. The source uses a very specific visual here, too.
Think of a train track or a physical trail in the forest. You are on a schedule, that is the track. If you lose track, you have wandered off the path.
It sounds so much better than just saying, I forgot.
It does. I forgot. Sounds like your brain just failed. I lost track of time. Sounds like you were so engrossed in something else, maybe your work or a really good conversation, that the abstract concept of time just slipped away from you.
It's a very polite, almost poetic excuse.
It definitely softens the mistake.
Speaking of feelings and excuses, let's move to the emotional regulation section. The source covers how to express what's going on inside without sounding like a robot just stating cold facts.
We have the positive spectrum first. Piece of cake.
Which just means easy.
As easy as eating a delicious slice of cake. And then, looking forward to it. This one is essential for emails. I look forward to meeting you. It projects your current self into a future positive state.
The source also calls, that's great to hear, a social glue phrase.
It's pure validation. If I tell you I finally finished that massive report, and you just say, okay, that actually hurts a little bit.
Yeah, it feels very dismissive.
But if you say, that's great to hear, you are confirming that my happiness actually matters to you. It seals the connection. It literally glues the interaction together.
But what about when things aren't great? The source brings up, it's driving me crazy.
Again, not driving a car. Drive here means to propel or to force. The loud noise, the stress at work, it is actively pushing you toward a state of insanity.
And I'm sick of it. This is one I hear native speakers use constantly. I'm sick of this weather. I'm sick of this song on the radio.
It's all about saturation.
Yeah.
You have had an overdose of it. It is not physical nausea. It is deep frustration. You are fed up. You have finally reached your limit.
And then there's tough. That's tough.
Tough is interesting because it can describe a physical object, like a tough piece of meat that is hard to chew. But in a social context, it is purely about empathy.
How so?
If you tell me you failed your driving test and I say, oh, that's tough, I am acknowledging the difficulty of your situation. I am validating your struggle without trying to jump in and fix it.
Now, sometimes, and the source is really good about this, you don't want to make a decision. Or you need to say no without being rude. We need to manage our agency.
The phrase, it's up to you, is the absolute gold standard here.
Dinner or a movie, it's up to you.
You are gifting the decision to the other person. It shows you are flexible and easygoing. It takes the pressure off you entirely and frames it as a kindness to them.
But what if I am genuinely busy? I can't just scream go away at my coworker when they interrupt me.
Ideally not. The source suggests saying I'm in the middle of something.
I really like the visual of that one, being in the middle.
It implies a definitive start and a finish to your task, and you are currently located geometrically right between them. It is an objective reason why you cannot talk.
So it's not personal?
Exactly. It's not personal. It's just logistics. I can't talk right now. I'm in the middle of this report.
And if you forget something, we talked about losing track, but there's another one they mentioned. It slipped my mind.
It's so gentle. It suggests the thought was right there in your head holding on, and then whoops, it just slid away. It is frictionless.
It removes the malice from forgetting.
Right. It wasn't that I didn't care about your birthday. It's just that the thought physically escaped my brain.
Before we wrap up, I want to touch on two practical things the source mentioned regarding commerce and navigation, because getting these wrong can actually cost you money or get you very lost.
Oh, absolutely. The sale distinction is critical. For sale versus on sale.
One letter difference, huge impact on your wallet.
For sale just means the item is purchasable. You can buy at a house, it is for sale. But on sale means it is actively discounted. It is cheaper than usual.
I can see how that's confusing.
Learners mix these up all the time. They ask a shopkeeper, is this for sale? And the shopkeeper just looks at them like, yes, this is a retail store. Everything is for sale. You want to ask, is this on sale?
And for navigation, the source keeps it simple with basic directions, but they really highlight the phrase, it's just around the corner.
Proximity. It is a highly reassuring phrase. Even if it is technically 2 or 3 corners away, saying it's just around the corner encourages the person.
Keep going, you're almost there.
Exactly. It means you are very, very close. Don't give up.
So looking back at this toolbox we have just unpacked today, we have got greetings, polite requests, phrasal verbs, emotional regulation, navigation. It is a lot of tools.
It is a lot, but remember the analogy from the source material. These are the bricks. You cannot build a house with just the abstract concept of a wall. You need the individual, solid bricks.
And these phrases are the bricks.
Hi there, I didn't catch that. It's up to you. These are the bricks of real human connection. They move you from robot English to human English.
And there's one final brick that the source calls the most useful phrase of all. It is basically the linguistic equivalent of a warm hug.
Don't worry about it.
Don't worry about it.
It is the ultimate forgiveness mechanism in the English language. You are 5 minutes late, don't worry about it. You spilled a little drop of coffee on the table, don't worry about it.
It instantly resets the social balance.
It says, we are cool. No social debt is owed here.
It brings us right back to that team activity concept we started with. We're on the same side.
Exactly. It prioritizes the relationship over the tiny mistake.
So what does this all mean for you listening today? We have analyzed the source. We have broken down the idioms. What is the big takeaway?
I think the real takeaway is that fluency isn't about memorizing the entire dictionary. It is about mastering these high-frequency, high-utility tools. The source argues, and I completely agree, that these phrases we discussed today are probably 20% of the language, but they cover 80% of your daily interactions.
That is a massive return on investment. And I would add something else to that. If language is a team sport, as we've established, then listening is a highly active position.
That is a really great point.
Think about the would you mind trap we discussed earlier. If you are just listening to the literal words mind, brain, door, you are going to crash. You have to listen for the underlying intent.
That is the provocative thought for the day. We spend so much energy rehearsing what we are going to say next, we run through our flashcards in our heads.
But real fluency.
Real fluency comes from understanding the cultural code behind what is being said to us.
Right. If would you mind requires you to say no to mean yes, how many other interactions are we completely misinterpreting because we are just translating words instead of reading the situation?
The words are just the surface level. The real meaning is underneath.
Definitely something for you to chew on the next time someone asks if you are up for a coffee. Thanks for joining us on this deep dive into everyday English. Go out there and use your new toolbox.
And hey, if you make a mistake out there, don't worry about it.
See you next time.